Wow, it sure has been a while. Whoops. I don't even know how long it's been at this point. Years? A year? Something like that, I don't know. But regardless, sorry it took so long for me to do things again. I just kind of got distracted. Things kept happening. You know, things are weird like that sometimes, I don't know. Um, this isn't really Transformers related, but I got this little 3D tutorial thing for the Undertale fans in my audience, which I doubt there are very few. But I doubt there are many. Wow. Already off to a great start. Anyway, it's been a real long time and we've got a lot of crap to cover. So, here we go. Alright, first of all, I've rearranged the Dinobot shelf a bit. Just kind of made things look nicer, and since it's right up against the wall here, I kind of made them all face at an angle a bit more. So, especially with Snarl and Slag on the corner, just so you can see them better. And I moved Jetfire somewhere else, just to make things easier. And then right down here, I've got a bunch of new stuff. I got the Legacy Beachcomber, I got Cosmos, and the newer Perceptor from the Studio Series multi-pack, which also means I got Ramhorn here as well. And I also finally got DevCon. And that's it. That's all for the G1 Season 2 / 1985 character shelf. On to the animated stuff. And we got Wasp. Technically Fugitive Waspinator or whatever, but it's Wasp. And I also got animated Nemesis Prime. And over down here, I adjusted all of the Maximals a bit, and you might have noticed there's a whole lot of stuff that used to be on this shelf that is no longer on this shelf. We will get to that. But I just moved everything forward, rearranged it a bit so everything looked a bit nicer. Not much to say there. I did that a lot with a lot of these shelves. I did it with Earthspark's shelf a bit too. I couldn't tell you what it used to look like because this has been an ongoing thing I've been working on for a while. A lot of adjustments and new things and rearrangements have been made, and I don't remember when or how I did them half the time. And also, you may have noticed back early that I don't know if I ever mentioned these in previous videos. I don't even remember when this started, but I've been really enjoying the new Cyberworld series, and I used to have a bunch of them as fidget things to mess around with at my little desk over there next to my Metaton and everything else. But the collection grew up to the point where they had to have their own dedicated shelf. So I have I've been especially enjoying these smaller ones, but I actually just got these two of the Ultimate Cyber Changers or whatever they're called, Ultra Class. I don't know. There's too many of those names for things. But I got Wheeljack, Elita 1, the Arachnid, who isn't an air vehicle for some reason, but whatever. Snarl, Mirage, Galvatron, Starscream, Megatron, Skybite, and Scourge and Shockwave here. I've been really enjoying this little series for a while now, and I very much like it. I've been saying the same thing over and over again. I'm gonna stop. So as you know from my previous videos, I think back my last video I made, this was still where I had some extra Skylanders. And as you can see, there is no longer a shelf here. Well, we will cover that later. But keep that in your brain somewhere. Don't forget about that. They went somewhere. They have been moved. But anyway, moving on to the Autobot combiner shelf thingy. I got the entire set of aerial bots. I got Skydive, Fireflight, Silverbolt, Slingshot, Air Raid, and Slingshot and Air Raid. Yeah, I'm always weird with aerial bot names. they're all kind of generic to me. They're good figures, but character-wise, there's not a whole lot there. And then, for the 1984 Autobots, Season 1 Autobots, whatever you want to call it, we've got a lot going on here. So, wow, we got a... Oh yeah, and I should also mention I removed Hotspot from this shelf. This also happened. I am very disorganized. I'm sorry. I have like all these notes here, but even though I prepared the notes, there's still a whole lot of stuff that I need to go over that I forgot. Oh, and also I should also mention before I completely forget, because I accidentally skipped over it. This for a while, this was just goes to show how much has been going on during all this time. This shelf used to be completely different in between having Skylanders on it and now being the Cyberworld shelf. For a while, I used it as the eHobby repaint shelf, but then Cyberworld was taking up too much space on my desk, so the eHobby G1 repaints had to be moved back to the table again, which they were to begin with, but now they've had to go back there again. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to say that before I completely forgot about it. And I removed Chromia and Deleta 1 from the Season 1 shelf because they weren't from Season 1, and they're not Earth Mode characters. So they were moved somewhere else. And beyond that, I've got the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. I got the Earthrise Trailbreaker and the 86 Wind Charger. And I also have this little piece of cardboard that I had them all standing on because there are too many Year 1 Autobots for this shelf to not have some kind of elevation involved to be able to see them all. And also, if you notice, I intentionally made him kind of hidden, but back there is Bumper. If you know anything about Bumper and his origins and why he exists, you know why he's hidden. It's kind of part of the joke for him. But moving on to the next shelf here, I got Studio Series 86 Junk Heap finally, just to give Retgar more of something to do, to look more unique. I literally got this figure just to be a set piece for another one. Because what else are you going to really do with Junkions? I don't know about you all, but I've never personally cared for Junkions all that much. And I also got the new Sandstorm that came out a while back. It's not that new now, but I got him. He's here. And then moving down to the original G1 toy shelf, I got the Legacy G1 toy-based version of Ultra Magnus, the White Optimus inside core piece. I think at this point you know what's going on. I got the entire 4-pack, the whole multi-pack set thingy. So, and I figured this was the best place to put this, because I don't really think it really works for 1986 G1 Autobot shelf. So I put it here. And I also got the funny Micromaster. Yeah, I just randomly felt like it one day and I saw it on sale somewhere, so I went for it. If you know who this Micromaster is and you know what his name is, you get the funny. I literally entirely only got this as a joke to show my friends, and that is all. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, figure it out. Moving on, I got the Hearts of Steel 2-pack, the first one with Optimus and Starscream. I haven't really bothered to get to the Bumblebee and the Megatron. I kind of want to, but at the same time, that Bumblebee is kind of weird scale-wise, and that Megatron doesn't do a whole lot. So, as much as I love the Hearts of Steel concept and design aesthetic, I'm not too worried about it. And then, as you see here, I moved Chromia here, so she is essentially my IDW Chromia, because this is how IDW Chromia looked. And as even though this is like my ideal Chromia design, just in general, uh, it's by technicality, by how she appears in various media, this is meant to be comic book Chromia. She does also pass for Cyberverse Chromia because they use the exact same design in Cyberverse, but she goes here. Not a whole. Yeah, that's all there is to really say here. But I'll just show everything here for a second. And here's the Transformers 1 shelf. I've got the Sentinel, the Bumblebee, the Alita, Starscream, the Arachnid. Right there. Wow, I just realized I'm not even like. I'm paying attention, looking at my notes more than I am the camera. I apologize. And oh wow, I didn't even realize, but the last video was before I even changed the way I have the movie shelves set up. So instead of having a Decepticon movie shelf and an Autobot movie shelf, I have a Transformers 1 movie shelf and a live action movie shelf. And we'll get to that later, eventually. But anyway, not a whole lot is changing up here. Actually, nothing has changed up here. But the Unicron Trilogy shelf, there is quite a few things that are different. I got the Excellion just because me like Cybertron designs. So I got the Cybertron Red Hotshot repaint because I like Cybertron toy designs and stuff. Whatever, you get the point. And then I got the Armada Red Alert and the Armada Wheeljack and the Noise Maze. Yes, I know it's Cybertron sideways. He is Noise Maze in my head. I can't see him and Sideways as the same guy. I just can't. They're different people, different characters. This is Noise Maze to me, not Sideways. But yeah, that's the updated Unicron Trilogy shelf. And moving on down here, I got Siege Omega Supreme, and this is also where I moved Jetfire, because when I had Jetfire up with the Dinobots, it was almost impossible to see him, even though he's taller than all of them, mostly because the white blends in with the white of the shelves. And just, Grimlock is big and obnoxious. Having Jetfire behind him is just like, it makes it almost impossible to see Jetfire, so I moved him down here, where you can see him better. And there's not much else going on down here, but here's a quick look at it anyway. Moving on up to the Decepticon Combiner shelf, well, one of them at least. I finally completed my Stunticons, and I'm so happy. It took me forever, but they reissued the Legacy Breakdown, and I was like, I will get this at all costs. And I finally did it. I have all of them. They are right here, and I'm very happy about it. This took so long, but it's finally all done. And then over here, I've got the beginnings of my Combaticons. I know Brawl is out, but I haven't managed to find him in a store, and I haven't bothered to buy one online or anything yet. So, 2 Combaticons so far. But then, moving on over here, I have all of the Studio Series 86 Constructicons. I don't even remember if I had any last time I made a video, or whatever, but I have them all. And some of you may be asking, why are all of your combiners not combined? To that I say, people don't appreciate the individual bots in combiner teams enough. So whenever I get combiners, I always make sure that at least some people are appreciating the individuals and not just the big guy that they all turn into. That's really all there is to it, honestly. I just kind of like it. I like being different and showing off something that people tend to ignore more than most. So yeah, that's really all there is to say there. Moving on to the 84 G1 Decepticons, Season 1, whatever. I still have the old Megatron and Soundwave, have yet to find their replacements for uh, I haven't found them in stores, and I haven't bothered to order them online or anything. So yeah, that's really all there's to say about them. But I got, and then you already saw the Perceptor and the Ramhorn, but here's the Rat Bat, who also came from that multi pack. Glad to finally have a Rat Bat in general. But yeah, there's not a whole lot going on here. And since we're here, I do not intend to get the new Modern Seekers unless they do another character that Earthrise and Siege didn't cover. Unless it's like one of the random obscure characters, like one of the Welcoming Committee or something. I'm not gonna bother. Like, apparently there's a leaked listing for Sunstorm. I'm gonna go for that. But for all of the main Seekers, I'm just not gonna bother, honestly. I'm kind of just in that era as a collector where I really don't feel the need to get constant upgrades for everything all the time, unless it's like really amazing, like the new 86 Megatron and the 86 Soundwave. Those I absolutely want. But for the Seekers, that's just so much of a commitment, because if you get one, you gotta get all of them, and so that they're all consistent and are they all line up right and they're all the same mold. But I don't think I'm prepared to commit to another Seeker mold, so this is how they will stay. And then moving on over here, literally nothing has changed, I think, on the Season 2 1985 Decepticon shelf. It's basically all the same stuff going on here. Nothing crazy. But down here, I got the 86 Galvatron and the 86 Scourge. So yeah, nothing really crazy. Part of me kind of wants to get a second sweep to kind of make it more symmetrical and stuff, but that's not exactly a high priority. Yeah, I'll deal with that eventually, probably, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's all there is to the new things on the 86 Season 3 shelf for the Decepticons. And there's nothing new on the Shattered Glass shelf either. Everything's just kind of the way it always has been. And the same goes for the G1 Decepticon original toy stuff shelf thingy. But however, the Predacons shelf has changed quite a bit. First of all, I got the Quick Strike. Very nice, very nice. And again, you'll probably notice there's some characters that used to be on this shelf, and he is no longer on this shelf. Once again, we will get to that eventually. But moving on, the Transformers Prime shelf, literally nothing has changed, I'm pretty sure. It's the same stuff that was here last time. Nothing crazy. The Cyberverse shelf, however, there's a bit that I've rearranged. Some of you may remember, I used to have my Earthrise RC doing this, and then I remembered, oh wait, Cyberverse RC canonically just does that all the time. So to have my RC doing her best impression of Heavy TF2 there, I like that. I like that idea for her. Not much else going on here, though. Most of the rest is the same as it always has been. And then, moving on down here, here's the new live-action movie shelf. And it's 99% Bumblebee movie with a couple Rise of the Beasts things. I got all the Seekers back there. And then Soundwave with Ravage, Nightbird, Scorponok, Shockwave, and my little team of live-action Autobots that consist of almost entirely non-main characters, if you can count Rise of the Beast RC as a main character in that movie. She barely did anything, really. but technically part of the main cast anyway. And then over here, a lot of stuff has been demoted to the random stuff shelf. I moved the Kingdom RC, Earthrise Kingdom RC, and the Earthrise Optimus here because 86 took his place, as well as the Netflix Elita 1, and then the War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, Starscream has also been moved down here, as well as all of my Robots in Disguise for 2015 collection, which has dwindled to 3 figures. I've gotten rid of every other RID 2015 figure I used to own. It's kind of crazy how these are the only ones left after all that. Goes to show how kind of crappy that toy line was in general, or at least the toys that I had from it. And I also managed to get my hands on one of the collaborative, not Ectotron, the Gigawatt, the Back to the Future crossover figure, right there. Yeah, I'd like it. But as with Ectotron here, there isn't really any other section that they could possibly fit in, so even though it's a relatively new figure, it's very nice and I like it, it has been demoted to the it doesn't fit anywhere else, so it's going here shelf. And, yeah. Not much else to say about all this, so moving on to the table. And over here, the first new thing to mention, I got the Legacy Slugslinger that came in the 2-pack with Sandstorm, I believe. Yeah, that's what it was. And over here, we've got the bleh. Oh yeah. Oh, first, before I do that, I got the I think, yeah, it was Legacy, or was it Age of the Primes? It might have been Age of the Primes. Carnivac. Yeah, it's Carnivac. If you know who Carnivac is, you probably care. If you don't know who Carnivac is, you don't. Although then again, that's kind of goes for every character. What am I saying? And then I also got from the multi-pack. If you know the multi-pack, here it is. It's the last one from that big 4-pack set. This is Horrible, or Bighorn, whatever you want to call him. No, not Bighorn. That's a different thing. Bullhorn. That's his name in Master Force. Whatever you want to call him, either you want to go by the English name or the Japanese name, that be my guest. I kind of use them interchangeably. And then, over here, I've got Skybite. That's him! Very glad to finally have a nice, high-quality Skybite that does all of the things you would expect a Skybite to do. His left shoulder pad is kind of droopy. That's why I have his left arm up like that, to kind of keep it up. But if I hadn't told you, you wouldn't have noticed. And, ha ha ha, I've done the thing. And I believe I have adjusted Double Dealer a bit to match his surroundings a bit better now. Not a whole lot else to say about that. But also, Star Convoy, he is glorious. I have him and he is beautiful. And obviously it came with the little transport vehicle that I don't care to remember the name of. And Micromaster Hot Rod. I am so glad to have this. I'm very happy. And then also the Countdown Micromaster going with the rest of my Victory Micromasters, and obviously for Star Convoy, this is Battle Stars. Kind of weird how we did technically get a variation of the Countdown base from Galaxy Shuttle here, even though Countdown himself came with Omega Supreme. A little weird, but and it's a way of getting it done, I guess. And over here, another new thing. I got the Iron Fist, because I believe that came with Carnivac. And I intentionally arranged the weapons to be based off of the original toy, because I know he got his big popularity spike from his appearance in IDW, but I first learned about him from over-researching European G1 and like that late G1 era as a whole. I don't know, was he one of the European exclusive, like 1990 G1 characters, or was that like? Yeah, yeah, he was. Yeah. I don't know why am I asking the question and saying it like that, but whatever. If you know, you know. If you don't know, it's not gonna make a difference to you. And I finally have all three of the main three Autobot Target Masters because I got Sure Shot. They recently announced a version of Point Blank that's more Headmasters based, anime accurate, and even calling him Blanker on the box. I'm probably going to try and sell this Point Blank and get that one instead, just because I like the lack of clear plastic on that. And I'm just generally more attached to the Japanese versions of the late G1 cast than I am the English ones. Because I watched the shows, and to me, animation always is above comics, in general. So if their appearance in animation is always more important to me than any other. So even though although I guess this is technically accurate to the Rebirth, but the Rebirth is kind of I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of love for the Rebirth as episodes. So yeah, I prefer the Headmasters references than Rebirth. Whatever. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. I'm going to move on now. Moving on. As you remember from the Maximal and Predacon sections, I have removed a certain chunk of them over here. I also got Big Convoy. I'm very glad to have gotten them. Another one of the Beast Wars group leaders down, crossed off the list. And I did see the prototype thing for the Beast Wars 2nd Galvatron. I really want that, but I'm kind of concerned that importing it will be a pain. So yeah, essentially all I did was I scooted the masterpiece stuff back, and I put all of the Beast Wars characters that were either original in the Japanese series or ones that were exclusive to the toys in their original release, like Beast Wars Grimlock here. I just kind of moved them all over here. And then my only late Beast Wars Predacon being Magnaboss, because that's the only modern one that's gotten a toy. But yeah, that's really all there is to say on the matter with that. And I don't think there's anything to really say about the Quintesson corner over here. Yeah, the Quintessons are here still. Wahoo. Overcharge got nudged a bit. It's not really lined up. I'm kind of running out of space for certain sections here, so some of the visibility in some of these later little chunks are kind of weird and hard to see. Like, I'll start with the inner thing all the way back here. This is the vaguely Unicron-related things section where I put Universe, Razorclaw, Nova Prime, and Antagony, because there was I was originally had them behind my 13, but then when I had to move my Beast Wars 2nd stuff, I had to move the Star Seekers as well, and the Star Seekers are now kind of in between the Unicron things and 13 primes. So I've got Cannonball, both of my Thundertrons. What's this guy? I always forget because it's an RID 15 character. Night Strike, that's his name. And then Filch and what's his face? Therak, I believe. I'm gonna be really upset if I got that name wrong. But anyway, here's the progress on my 13 primes. I got Megatronus, Solus Prime, Onyx Prime, Alpha Trion, Prima, Liege Maximo, the most recent one I just got a little while ago, Quintus Prime, Alchemist Prime, and Vector Prime. I still do not intend to get Micronus unless they do an alternate version of him that doesn't isn't 99% clear plastic. I decided to just bite the bullet and take the risk on Quintus just because he looks cool and I like him. Also, why is why is the Emberstone yellow? Why does he have the P rock? I'm I know because that's the only clear plastic they used for the toy, but why is the Emberstone P flavored now? I'm 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 just I'm just gonna leave that the way I said. That's all I have to say on the subject there. And I really prefer the aligned continuity slash IDW design for Liege Maximo, just that whole concept more than the Generation 2 Marvel design for him. But this is just does such a good job representing that for me that I don't particularly care that much. I wish it would have been based off of that design instead of this one, but this does such a good job, I don't mind. I think I just said the same thing twice with slightly different wording, but whatever. Um. Oh yeah. I just now noticed on my thing here. Did I still have Cutthroat and Sinner Twin when I made the last video? Wow. I sold those two long ago. But apparently that's a new thing for you, according to my notes. Wow. Anyway, moving on to the Cybertronian stuff section. I moved Legacy Alpha Trion over here just because this one's here now with his Covenant of Primus and looking all younger, going with the rest of the 13. I figured that made some more sense for this Alpha Trion to go here, so he is here now. And I moved my main Elita 1 to this section to just kind of bit more with the G1 Cybertronian alt mode section. And I also got the Origins Wheeljack, and I decided to transform these three since these were the only Cybertronian alt modes to appear in the show beyond Soundwave and the Seekers. And I wanted some of them to be in their alt modes to represent the Cybertronian section a bit more, because Soundwave Cybertronian alt mode is kind of boring, and I don't have any flight stands for the Seekers, and it would be kind of weird to just have a whole lot of Tetrajets on the just laying on the ground. But yeah, that's all there is to say for this section. And over here, the Earth section slash toy-based characters section slash Generation 2 stuff has also included the eHobby repaints. So Crosscut, Road Rage, Clampdown, Deep Cover, Magnificus, and Exhaust. They're all here now. Oh yeah, and Hauler. All of those are all here now, and also Hotspot is here. Just because I just don't like Combiner Wars very much, in all honesty. So, and I don't intend on getting the full Combiner Wars set of Protectobots. I don't like the Combiner Wars system. I'm sorry. So until they do a new hotspot and I get it, this hotspot will just be hanging out here. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say over here. It's kind of like the bottom right corner. It's kind of what it's kind of like the put all of the other extra stuff here, but this has a little bit more rhyme or reason to it. Oh yeah, right, and Detritus, whatever you're supposed to pronounce his name, he's also here. I forgot to mention him. Because it's supposed to be Earth mode stuff slash of characters that already have a place that I didn't want to be demoted all the way down there for one reason or another, or it's stuff like that, like the Combiner Wars Megatron or United Megatron, not to be confused with Legacy United. Man, really, they need to come up with better names for things. And anything Generation 2 related, and yeah, I believe I've talked about this plenty already. But anyway, hey, you may be wondering, where did all of the Toys to Life corner stuff go? And to that I say, it's over here now. So, I have a bunch of the stuff that I'm attempting to sell up here on the upper shelves. And now the Toys to Life corner is over here. So I have all of the magic items and Eon's Elites up here. All of my Spyro's Adventure and Giant stuff here. All of my Swap Force stuff here. All of my Trap Team stuff here. All of my Superchargers and Amiibos here, because Superchargers had 2 Skylanders figures that doubled as both Skylanders and Amiibo, so I figured it would be fitting. I went on a bit of a Amiibo collecting spree a while back, so I got all of the Splatoon 1 Amiibos that affected gameplay things, that unlocked special stuff there, and I got the big 4 main characters because I like them. And I got Joker Persona 5 because I am a massive Persona fan, and there's not enough easily accessible Persona merch. So I went ahead and grabbed an Amiibo, grabbed a couple things here. I got Rosalina and Zero Suit Samus because I like Galaxy, and Zero Suit Samus is one of my mains in Smash Bros. Just so I thought something to represent that would be neat. And then all of my Superchargers vehicles are down here, and all of my Imaginators figures are right here. All of my traps and Imaginite crystals are still down under the shelves, back where under the Transformer stuff is. And I also got out my Lego Dimensions. All of the vehicles and accessory pieces are inside this drawer here, along with the instructions and extra pieces, because it was kind of becoming a problem with people knocking them out knocking into this little mini table here and knocking them on the floor and stuff. So I decided to make the footprint a bit smaller, less surface area covering the table. But yeah, there's my Lego Dimensions stuff. And also, while I'm talking about video game things, let me just go back to my main desk. While I'm on the topic of video game things for a moment, I also, Chapter 3 and 4 of Deltarune came out since the last video, and they've already announced the release date of Chapter 5. First of all, I pre-ordered that Tenna figure, the posable Tenna, immediately, the moment it became available. So that's on its way. That's one of the things I'm currently waiting on right now. And, yeah, there's not a whole lot for me to say about that. I am very excited to have that. I don't intend... this is old news by now, but I don't intend on getting a Switch 2 because expensive. But hopefully, yeah, because you saw my Splatoon stuff. I kind of mostly only want it so that I can play Splatoon Raiders, because I'm a big Splatoon fan. And hopefully I'll be able to experience that at some point, but I probably won't, in all honesty. Beyond that, everything in general has been kind of a mess. I think I talked about it a little bit earlier, about my issues with just not wanting to get all of the new characters. Yeah, because I was talking about it with the Seekers, that they're doing with the new Studio Series 86 ones. I've been a lot more picky with my Transformers recently, and I probably will be for the rest of my collecting days. I've been really struggling to keep up as it is, but with these newer prices, I'm just kind of struggling in general. There's a lot of issues in the world, as one may notice, and prices suck, so I'm being a bit more picky. And I'm doing my best to try and sell things when I can. I'm probably gonna try and do a little bit more of that in the coming weeks. And yeah, I'm gonna try and keep collecting because I love doing it, but things have been hard. I just struggle keeping up with it all. But anyway, didn't mean to get so a little bit depressing there for a moment. But I think I have something that will bring the mood up. I wanted this to be a nice little surprise for the end of the video. That's right. It's finally here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's finally here. Those of you who know who I am and have been keeping up with my opinions on things, this is my favorite combiner team of all time, and one of my favorite subgroups in all of Transformers, really. I love these guys so much, and I am so excited to finally have them. I have yet to open this box at all. I've just been in awe of this whole package. I, it's it, it's beautiful. And I wanted to use this very, very special occasion as an opportunity to diversify my videos a bit. So, in the coming days, probably tomorrow, maybe something like that, you will see my initial reactions and unboxing of Legacy HasLab Liokaiser and the whole set and stuff. And then after that, I will do a thorough review because I have the means to do that now. Wahoo! So keep an eye out for that. I will be doing that. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, very happy, very excited, very, very happy, and also very, very excited. I am repeating myself. Wow. But yeah, that's all there is to say. So thank you everybody for watching, and thank you. You've been a great audience.